Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Beau is Afraid. And this is a new horror comedy from director Ari Aster, who previously created Hereditary and Midsummer. And this 3-hour epic of a film sees a very anxious man who tries desperately to get to his mother after hearing about her sudden death. And he is sent on a crazy journey through the recesses of his own anxiety-drenched mind. And this film, Aster is able to ratchet up tension like it's nobody's business and really capture the anxiety that's inside the head of Beau, played by Joaquin Phoenix. There's, especially the first act of this film, we're in this heightened sense of reality of like everything is out there to hurt Beau and he can't control it. And it's the kind of film where like we're not really treated to like what the real perspective is out there. We only see Beau's perspective, which is this heightened, over-the-top, anxiety-driven fever dream where everybody hates him, everybody wants to hurt him, and we experience that, and it's terrifying. You have these moments with like a cop with a gun pointed at him. You have all these crazy escalating moments. There's one particular character later who's just this like unrelenting destruction machine chasing after him, and you're just on the edge of your seat throughout. This film is 3 hours, and definitely there was some parts that could have been trimmed, but it's such an interesting visual and thematic experience that takes you on a ride to process all these different kinds of ideas throughout the film, and it does it in such a visceral and poignant and unnerving way. Now, there's very loose narrative here. There isn't a whole lot of structure. We're going from one thing to a next as he's desperately trying to get to his mother's home to see her buried. And each stop that he goes, things get crazy, things get over the top, get ridiculous. Not everything makes sense. This film isn't going for that. It's going for this feel, it's going for this deeper critical thinking that this film is able to capture through its themes, through its ideas of this really toxic relationship that Beau has with his mother, played by Patti LuPone, and his own anxiety he's taken in after being hit by a car by Amy Ryan and Nathan Lane. You have Parker Posey, who's this young woman who he had this connection with when he remembers back to this cruise that he was on, and now she worked for his mother and trying to rekindle that connection. There's so many different layers and things going on in this film. It's visually arresting. How the camera moves is engrossing and voyeuristic and unnerving. The cinematography, which is done by Pavel Pogorzelski, is just impressive. The Haxon Cloak, who did the score for this, it's unnerving. You're set on the edge of your seat. Not everything's going to make sense. Not everything needed to be in the film. And I think this is going to be a hard watch for a lot of people to process really what it's going after. This is fantastical. The whole world that we see is Beau's warped reality. And he sees things that are shocking and unnerving. He sees things that puts a smile on his face. And this film is darkly hilarious from start to finish. That basically every scene there's something to laugh at if you're picking up that frequency. And you can tell Aster is trying to get laughs out of us with the most absurd things. And this film's definitely not for everybody, and I'm sure more and more people will be dropping those 0 out of 10s on this film. But this film deserves so much more than that. It is a purely unique experience that hopefully you make the most out of by checking this out. But those are my thoughts on Beau is Afraid. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.